Okay. Here we go. We have the story problem is you have to build a wall. It's a 12-foot wall. Okay, these are story problems 8, 9, and 10. We're building a 12-foot wall. The studs are 16 inches on center. We need to figure out how many studs. We need to figure out how many pieces of sheetrock we're going to need to buy. And how much paint. Okay? So we know that the sheetrock's a 4x8 sheetrock. We know that the paint, 1 gallon will cover 20 square feet. So we have to figure some stuff out. The first thing is how many studs. And this is the one problem that kids get wrong really easy. Okay, and I call it the stud in the wall problem. Okay? But once you catch the mistake the first time, and I think I talked to some of you about this mistake. Okay? Once you catch that mistake the first time, you'll never make it again. But I guarantee you, when you make this mistake and you get back and your boss goes, "Why'd you only buy that many studs?" It sucks to have to go back after work and get another stud to bring back to the job site, not being paid for it and being yelled at in front of everybody else. Okay? It's not fun. Okay? So it's embarrassing. But that's real life. Bosses get very angry when you waste their time. Okay? So, if we talk about a 12-foot wall, things are 16 inches on center. That means you have this wall, and every 16 inches, we're going to have a stud. And if we think about it, 16 inches is 1.5 feet, right? So we have... Actually, it's not 1.5 feet. No. A foot's 12 inches. Okay? So we have 12 inches in a foot, 4 more inches for 16. Uh-oh. So it's 16 inches on center means it's 1.33 feet. This is not going to be a fun problem anymore. Because I was doing it on 18 inches when I was figuring this problem out. That's okay. Just means it's more fun. Okay? Yeah. Alright, so how many studs do we need at 16 inches on center? Means that every 1.33333 feet, right? Or every 1.33 feet, you're going to have a stud. Right? Or every 16 inches. So we should figure out, if we want to know how many inches, then how many inches is 12 feet, right? So that's 12 times 12, which is 144, right? So we have 144 inches. Then we're going to see how many times does 16 go into 144, right? So how many times does 16 go into 144? Oops. 9. Okay? So, we're going to have 9 studs, right? Because 16 goes into 144 9 times. Is that right? Nine studs? Does that make sense? Wrong. Why is that wrong? This is the problem that I got in trouble for and got yelled at and had to go pick up an extra stud for. Because you don't have 16 studs, or every 16 inches is a hole. So when we divided it by 16, we divided how many holes we have. Now how many studs we have. That means there's 9 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? But how many studs we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The stud in the wall problem, right, always has an extra stud. Okay? And the reason is because you need that you either finish with or you think about it as the one that you start with. Okay? Does that make sense? So we need one to start with here, 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 all the way across to make that wall. Does that make sense? So we will have 9 holes, but we will have 10 studs. Okay? So 9 holes, but 10 studs. Does that make sense? No? So every 16 inches is going to be a new stud. 9 16ths gives me 144. And 144 inches is 12 feet. And that's how we're going to have a 12-foot wall. Okay? Now, with a 12-foot wall, when we put up sheetrock, now it's also said in your thing that with sheetrock, you put it up like this, 8 by 4. This is the way sheetrock is laid. Okay? So you always do 8 by 4, 8 by 4. Does that make sense? And so, here's one piece on the wall, but we don't need that much because we're only going to 12, right? So we're going to use 1.5 piece but on each side, right? So that means on the other side, there's going to be 2 of these, right? And this would be your 12-foot by 8-foot wall, right? Because this is 4, 4, 8, 4, 4, and 4, right? So, this is one sheet, and you can't just put it straight up and down. But the nice part is, because it's cut in half, we can use the other half on the other side of the wall. Does that make sense? So we need, actually, 1 full sheet here, 1 full sheet there, 2 sheets here, 2 sheets here. So how many sheets do we need?
6.
That's it. So we need 6 sheets of sheetrock. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? This is going over this. So you got to remember, this is coming out 8 feet. Right? And then there's going to be 4 feet left over. Say 16, 16. How many times? Probably be about here. Your sheetrock's being cut in half. So you're going to have 2 pieces. 2 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, it's only 12 feet, right? So it's 1 piece. Sorry about that. 1 piece, 2 piece, and then on the other side, 3 piece, 4 piece, and then 5 pieces, both sides, 6 pieces, both sides, because 1 piece is cut in half, the other piece is cut in half. Does that make sense? Okay. Alright, so 6 pieces of sheetrock. Now, how many gallons of paint? Well, we need to know what's the square footage, right? This is an 8-foot by 12-foot wall, right? So how many square feet is that? To find square footage, you do length times width, right? So 8 times 12, which is 80 plus 16. 96. Okay? But